Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Oh, actually, good afternoon. It is afternoon here. I hope you guys are doing well. It's been a few days. Yeah. I hope your weekend's going to be fun. And I don't know. I don't know what we're doing this weekend. I'm sure there's something. I just haven't recently looked at my calendar. Yeah. So I wanted to talk real quick about something that was a little funny. I mean, it's funny now. It was not really funny when it happened. But you remember when the time, I think it was the last time I was on, I had you guys help me coming up with a bio. And we threw out some basic ideas, and then you guys helped us put together. Hey guys, hey Wendy, hey Mariella, hey Catherine, hey Karen, hey Kate, hey Terry, hey Janine, hey Angel, Nancy, Charlotte. You guys are the first, so you guys know what to do if you want to help out. Anyway, so yeah, we wrote it all out. You guys saw it, but then Nana comes to me afterwards and she's like, dude, you misspelled something. Like, I don't know. And I kind of knew what it was because it's a word that I always kind of mess up. You know how there's some words that no matter what you do, you misspell them because you just haven't figured out a way to kind of tell your brain how to do it. I don't know. That maybe for some of you don't have that, but for me, there's always just like a small handful of words that I always will misspell. And one of them, which I thought was pretty funny, was this right here, professional. So it says, Sketchy Friendler is a professional illustrator. Yeah, really professional. The two F's there. It's supposed to be one F and two S's. I always mess up. I'm like, I know it's a double letter. Is it this one or this one? It's 50-50, right? So I misspelled that. So I had to literally go back to the drawing board and redo it, which is fine. I mean, I can always use the practice. But yeah, so that's what happened. I misspelled professional because, I'm professional like that. Oh, Brenda, I hope you're feeling better soon, but I'm glad you could hang out. Hey, Ruth. Hey, Wendy. Rebecca, happy early birthday. I hope you get to do something you want to do or eat one of your favorite foods or all of the above. I think everybody should be allowed to eat their favorite food on their birthday. Oh, what am I? Is my head getting?
I'm gonna light up your world.
Oh, it's too dark.
Yeah, it's just.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're fine. You keep going. Pretend I'm not even here.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna set up a new light for you.
Oh, okay. So today, I'm gonna draw about the time that Gemelli wore shoes at EPCOT. It was an interesting day. We wanted to go to EPCOT, and it was really warm out, and Nana had bought a few different pairs of shoes for Gemelli, and so we wanted to test them out, and so we kind of had to run around the house with 2 or 3 different pairs, and the ones that seemed to work, that was the one that won out, and we were gonna test them out at EPCOT because we're just gonna go there for an afternoon. We just weren't doing like a real serious wasn't like a big week-long deal like we have done in the past. Just a few hours, just to break her shoes in, see if they stay on. And then also it was her first time at Epcot too, so we wanted to see how she would do when we put her through her paces, see if she'd get distracted or she'd hold it together like she was trained, and if not, see where those weak points were so we could reinforce at home. So it was an exciting day, even though it wasn't going to be a long time at Disney. It was an important time. And real quick, before I get into the story a little bit more, if you haven't watched my videos before, just I always start out with this blue before I commit to anything with the graphite pencil. And as you saw, Nana just brightened it up. But if it's still too dark for you, just crank the brightness all the way up on your viewing device. And then if you're like watching it on your phone and it's too small, then just try tilting your phone horizontal so the image fills up the screen and the image gets larger. So just a couple of tricks. So anyway, we wanted to test out her shoes. And the ones that seemed to work best that we had were the shoes that were like pink and they had little holes in them. So they kind of look like dog Crocs. So that was pretty interesting that they actually made Crocs or kind of Croc-like shoes for dogs. But anyway, we left the house and we headed to Disney for the afternoon. Once we got to the parking lot there at Epcot, we Anna and I got her into her chair because Anna uses a wheelchair when we go out to places like Disney so that she doesn't get tired because she can't walk long distances without getting tired, and also so she's more protected and won't get knocked over by other people. Because it's very easy for her to get knocked over. Anyway, so as I got Anna ready, and then Anna fitted her shoes onto Gemelli, and so yeah, we set off, and immediately when we got in there, I mean, it was just it was a spectacle because everybody, oh my god, look at this dog's wearing shoes. Did you see this? And the whole thing about service dogs is normally you want them to be invisible, just blend in. A good service dog you will never notice because they're so well behaved and they're doing their job that you will not notice them. And then like it's usually people will notice like, oh, I didn't realize there was a dog there. They become invisible. So that's what's supposed to happen. However, she had bright pink shoes on that were not just shoes or Crocs. So it was kind of silly looking. We had people come up, like at first, I mean, we had people like, there was a lady that was waiting for us in the, after we got through the metal detector. And I thought they were going to come up to Anna and recognize Anna. Hey, the light just went off or something just went off.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I thought they were waiting to say, "Oh, hey, I know you guys. I watch you guys," but it was just a lady who wanted to thank Nana for putting shoes on the dog because it's hot there and it's concrete, and a lot of you don't realize is dogs' paws, if the ground is hot enough, they can get burned. So it's always best to have shoes, or they have got this kind of palm, like a kind of like a balm that you can put on their paws. Either one is good, and so their little paws won't get burned. So we got in there, and yeah, immediately people were just pointing and laughing and mentioning, like everybody, like every fifth person had something to say, and it was funny at first, but after a while, it's like it's kind of counterproductive. I mean, yeah, it's annoying, but it's more like we didn't want her to be distracted. Luckily, nobody came up and tried to pet her, and so far, people have been pretty good. Um, People will not bother um, Gemelli when she's working. Now, of course, since I said that, I mean, it's gonna happen. It's bound to happen at some point. We're gonna have somebody who's just a little too grabby or friendly, and or doesn't realize that you're not supposed to bother a service dog. Um, Actually, I could put this gentle leader on her. So if you guys don't know about the gentle leaders, they're not a muzzle. The dog can still drink and bark with them on. It's just a way to remind the dog in a more passive way where you want it to go without like yanking it by the neck or whatever. And it's considered, I think Smithsonian like rated it the most humane training device for a dog. So check it out if you've ever been curious about them. And if your dog is well behaved enough, it it won't need to have a leash. Like if it listens and heals, and you don't need a big thing for it to go where you need it to go and listen to what you need it to listen to. Yeah, so yeah, any dog. I mean, honestly, just good manners is not to just bum rush a dog, even if it's not a service dog, and ask the owner permission, because you don't just go up to strangers if they're humans and do that. I mean, maybe some of you do, but most people don't. And also, you just don't know how the dog's gonna react. Some dogs don't react well with people coming up to them, and a lot of dogs, even though they tolerate it, they don't like being petted or have their come up and hug them right on their head. They don't like it because that's not what dogs do in a normal like normal dog protocol. That's not how they greet each other. Yeah, it's usually the back end that they greet each other with, because that tells more information. And then when you get into a dog gets into another dog's face, that's a challenge. So yeah, so think about that, and then that hasn't happened. So that hasn't happened so far. So I'm glad about that.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Yes.
Can you please plug this in?
Yeah. Hold on. I gotta plug a new light in so you guys can see better.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's the plan. Oh, is there
No,
any
right down there, the floor.
Oh,
Okay.
all right. Let's see what happens with this one.
It's okay.
Oh, cool. All right. So we got a mechanical pencil for Anna, because she won't have to get the pencil or try to sharpen the pencils like with the regular pencils. And we Nana found these really cool mechanical pencils I'd never even seen before, but they have a really thick lead, like 1.3 lead. Typically, with mechanical pencils, you're going to have 3.3, 0.5, 0.9. Those are the most common. 9.9 being the one that I'm using because it is thicker, but the 1.3, it's like almost as thick as like a regular, this yellow 2B type pencils you see at school, like those Ticonderogas. but so she was using it in her gratitude journal the other day. It was the very first time she was using it, and she's like, "This pencil doesn't work." I'm like, "What? It doesn't work? Is it not right?" She's like, "No, I got all this lead all over my hands." So she had all this graphite like all over her hands, and what was doing is she was like coloring with the pencil. And I had to explain to her that with the pencils, you don't necessarily want to use them to color because it's soft. The lead is going to just get all over the place. There's other types of pencils or medium that you can use if you want to color stuff in. And so I think she understood, and she's still learning how to use the pencils, but I'm just glad that she's strong enough to click the lead in and push it back in when she wants. So, but we're learning how to do it. All right. Yeah, it does look good, Tammy. The light looks good. I'm really enjoying taking Gemelli on walks every day. I do it once in the early morning before I start my day. Then once like late at night after everything's all finished. But I found this place that I just didn't really realize. I would never really looked over, but there's like this area where there's this giant it's not like a park, but I guess it's just a giant lawn, and I'm guessing it's probably set up for dogs, or it's for people too, but also for dogs because there's a garbage can. And when I take her out on walks, I got to use the poop bag, and now I can use the garbage can and I can throw the poop bag in the garbage. That's nice. I'm going to bring it back home. I guess it was in their best interest to set that up, because I'm sure people were probably just leaving poop all over the place. So they have a little bag dispenser just like they'd have in like parks and stuff. Plus they've got the garbage can. So you really have to be deliberately wanting to be not very nice to not be able to get the poop where it needs to go. So I'm happy about that. And I don't have to worry about bringing it back home. Thanks, Janine. Yes, Lynn. Gemelli is beautiful. She's a beautiful girl. Let's see. But yeah, so anyways, let's get back to the story. So yeah, everybody was like just laughing and pointing, and then it is cute, but it just you don't want the dog to be causing such a scene. At one point, this family walked by, and Anna heard this too, but they were like, they spoke Spanish, and they said, I heard them. They're like, one of them said, "Mira, un perro con Crocs." Which means like, look, it's a dog wearing Crocs. Con Crocs. I thought that was amusing. Anna did too. Let me this down a bit. I wanted to just give an indication of where we're at. So, let's see. Thanks, Wendy. Thanks, Harold. So, what do you guys? Do you guys have some fun plans this weekend? Sharon says that's exactly how Melly looks when she walks, which is more like prancing. She does. She does prance. She was trained in dressage. No, she wasn't. I wonder if you can train a dog to do dressage. She's a Lipizzan hound. Yes, I guess someone is asking where Anna is. Anna's is doing. She's got like back to back. She had back to back math classes today, and yeah, today's a math day for her. But yeah, we were impressed with Gemelli because a lot of times at we just don't go out like all the time, so we didn't know exactly how well she would just kind of do her go fall back into her training, where it's very very important for her to do everything she was taught. We can run her through her training at home, but it's usually more brief. It's not like a sustained thing like when she's out and about. She's got to maintain that heel. She's got to maintain just following any command that she receives, listen, and not get distracted, which is the other thing we were concerned about. That she'd see all these people and all these great smells and birds and squirrels and all that stuff. So she just everything just kind of just clicked back into place, and she just did her thing. It was great. Cool, Kay. I'm glad you got to catch a live. I know it's harder for people that aren't in the States or in North America to catch any videos that we live streams that we do. I always think it's funny how you kind of know, you can kind of gauge how old people are by how they refer to things. Like when you record something, I find myself sometimes saying, "Oh yeah, I taped it." Taped it? What do you mean you taped it? Nobody uses tape anymore. You taped it with some masking tape. What did you tape it with? So I think, or like photocopy. So yeah, I Xeroxed it. I don't think all the kids now would know the heck you're talking about. I don't know what else. What are some other things that people would say? Well, I know something with like Disney. Do you remember when Disney had ticket books? Remember that? You guys remember that? Ticket books. You have to purchase a ticket book once you got into the park or at the front where you get in, and then you have to, each ride is assigned a value from I think A to E, and all the rides that everybody loved were called E-ticket rides. So I remember people back in the day used to say, when they wanted to say something was really fun, they would say, "Oh, it's a real e-ticket attraction." Then you know like what era people are you're dealing with. Right, Rona, with the green stamps or the blue chip stamps. I know a lot of you guys remember those. I remember my mom had a drawer that was full of all those stamps. Did anybody ever like get anything cool? And how long did it take your family to accrue enough stamps to get anything decent? There's also, if you guys remember, Brady Bunch is an episode when they have it in syndication that they very rarely show because I think people don't really know. It was an episode where Alice, the housekeeper, had saved up a whole bunch of these stamps, and she took the kids to the place where you redeem your stamps and have all the little things that you can buy. And so the conflict was that the girls all wanted something and the boys wanted. So I think the girls wanted like some kind of playhouse thing, and then the boys wanted a canoe. So there was a big controversy in the family. But they don't play it that much because I think even back in the later '80s and early '90s when when it was in syndication, nobody remembered that stuff. I mean, I barely remember it, but I was around for the tail end of those stamps. Yeah, a lot of people. Oh, some people got some really cool stuff. I'm looking at what everybody's got with those stamps. That's cool. It's good to know that they actually you actually could get stuff. It's kind of like when you go to like an arcade or something, Dave and Buster's, Chuck E. Cheese, someplace like that, where they have you redeem the stamps from all the games that you play. And they always just always like all the good stuff is like super high value. Takes you probably multiple times going there to earn enough tickets or whatever you get to redeem in order to get the prize. Otherwise, it's just a lot of like cheap little crummy little knickknacks and stuff. Yeah, some parts of the country they had the green stamps. Some other parts of the country had the blue stamps. Where I was, there was the blue stamps. They're called blue chip. The green ones are called S&W. But there was like a little, like the grocery store. There was the regular cash register, and then next to it was like another little machine that spat out those stamps. Yeah, it's real funny. It's strange because I can remember things from when I was really young, like super young, way more earlier than I think most people can remember. So even with my peers, like there's things that I remember that a lot of my peers don't remember because they don't remember that far back. But I remember things that probably kids that were 10 years older would normally be able to remember. But the thing is like my current short term, it's hard for me to remember things that are new. So I don't know what that means. I need to talk to some kind of brain specialist. Why can't I remember like things, very fine details from the past, but I can't remember what I'm doing from one moment to the next? There's definitely something going on with that. I don't know. Because at some point in the past, I remembered it back then. Why was I able to remember that stuff? Maybe because my brain was newer, fresher. Kim, I must have. I don't know. I'm exactly the same. You can't remember what I went to the other room for. Yeah, I do that all the time. Thank you for the compliment, Adam. I appreciate that. Thanks, Nancy. Pam, I just got some sticky notes, so I'm going to see if I can remember to implement using them. That's the other thing. You got to remember to use them for them to be able to work. I really need to learn how to slow down. Oh, it's just, my brain's always just going so fast. I'm already like half thinking about another thing while I'm still doing one thing. But that's, I think, where drawing really has kind of kept me centered. Like I can just, everything slows down. Oh, yeah. That's the problem. I forgot what I was even doing. You can see how my brain works in action here. Speaking of not remembering, I drew her without her shoes on. It's the whole point. It's the whole point of this. There you go. Now you know. Now you know how my brain works. Oh, it's funny. I mean, it's not. It's funny, but it's not funny. I often find myself thinking of two or three things at a time and then having to decide which of those thoughts I'm going to hang on to because the other ones I know I'm going to forget before I'm able to do anything with them. Okay. All right. I think we're ready. See, I always keep this. I keep this. Do you ever keep fortunes from fortune cookies? I keep one with me, and it's this one. It says, "Don't panic." Just whatever you do, don't panic. Because when you start panicking, everything's out the window. You want to be able to focus. When stuff is not going the way that you want them to. Sharon, you have your favorite fortune from 1991. Wow. It's a year before I graduated high school. Must be a pretty good one. What would you do if you got a fortune that like said something weird? Like Confucius say you totally misquoted me or something like that. Confucius say I never said that. Thanks, Melanie. Thanks, Lorna. Glad you could be here, Julie. Yes, Jennifer. We're making pretty good time. 40 minutes. I didn't, I thought maybe we've been here for an hour. As long as I can try to keep it to an hour, I try to do that so that, if people do have the chance to rewatch it, they don't have to be totally stuck for that long. Don't want people to be stuck. Oh, and your dog's feet got burned. And his shoes. Ooh. It melted. It gets very hot, so gotta watch out. Make sure, keep checking. We kept checking her feet to see if she was okay. And they didn't melt, thankfully. That must have been very hot wherever you're walking. So I like to start out with Gemelli, the lighter color, just so I can kind of figure out how dark I want her to go, so people can still see what's happening. Because you never want to, with a black, something that, an object that's completely black like her, you don't want her to become invisible. All right, thanks for hanging out, Linda. Yeah, Gemelli does have her tail is an angel's wing, that's for sure. Yeah, Wendy, we've gone through a lot of different shoes. Some just fall off. Some feel like they will get too hot. And then these ones, they're pretty good, but it just caused too much of a scene, too much of a commotion. because later on, we were there later on in the day, and at a certain point, when the sun was kind of going down and there wasn't direct sunlight on the concrete anymore, we took the shoes off of her, and nobody paid her any mind or attention at that point, which is great because you don't want her to get distracted or bothered by anybody. Marion caused a commotion, well, because she had these. As I'll color in, you'll see how bright these shoes were, and just people thought it was the funniest thing or cutest thing, and it was cute. But again, she's working; she's a service dog, and you don't want her to get distracted by people making a big deal about what she's wearing. So it kind of defeats the purpose. And the more attention she's getting, the more chance of her getting distracted. So that's the kind of commotion that I'm referring to. The shoes, I believe, do come in black, but also since we're in Florida, we don't want them to be black because it'll attract the heat from the sun. We wanted to get maybe purple, but they don't have any in that color. Still, though, I think they'd probably also get unwanted attention. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Zoom in a bit. Thanks, Choice. I almost forgot them. Whole thing's about shoes, and I forget to draw them. Thanks, Darlene. Heather, that's cool. Watching pups at 4 paws too. Nice. How many are there? Choice, your dog didn't want to be in the cart. What kind of dog do you have? Liz says each time I draw, Gemelli looks more like her. Well, I mean that's the hope, right? I mean, just getting used to drawing the dog, just coming to a point where I can have kind of a shorthand that I use so that I can get more of a consistent look that captures her spirit. Anything that I draw more than once, that's what I hope to do. Okay, here we go again. Never fails. Okay, we're completely out. I need a phone power. Sorry, guys. It's not good. Ran out of juice here. Oh, wait. No, this one does say I have it. Power. I don't know what the problem is. Come on, guys. What is this? Okay. Sorry. It has to do it. The phone demands, or the camera demands to shut down at least once during every live. It wrote it into its contract. I think there's something faulty, whether it's the phone or the connection. I don't know what it is. I can't explain it because I've moved it around, wiggled the connection. I hope it's just the connection because I'd hate it if it was the phone. I mean, there's definitely probably pilot error on some level, but to do it every single time and not having moved it, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. It's frustrating though. Yeah, I think right after this, I'm going to swap this phone with another phone and see if that's the issue. Because if it still does it, then we do know that it's a connection issue. So at least we can, rule out stuff. But I always forget after the live. I forget to test out the other camera. Again, short-term memory, non-existent. This is my life. Let's see. Make a note. Yes, let me write something down real quick. Freaking very large. Change camera. Here we go. Change camera. It'll be there. So even if I forget, I'll walk up to it later and I'm like, oh yeah. Change the camera. See how that works out. Try something new. Yeah, it's important that I know that I need to write notes, which means I need to write on something. I can't do computer stuff because you have to get into the phone and type it all out, and by that time my mind's already gone off on some other tangent. So I need to be able to just be able to write it then and there on the spot, and then I can cast it aside. But at least then later on, when I circle back, I can get to those things that I need to do. Cool, Sharon. So yeah, our friend Sharon sending me silicone spray for my creaky old chair. It's not even old; it's a creaky new chair. So hopefully, I can get into this chair and get rid of this annoying creaky sound that I know bothers some of you. Bothers me too. I mean, I've kind of filtered it out, but it's still I'm aware of it, and I'm aware that it's sort of distracting for some people. Thanks, guys. All right, let me show you. Well, first, let's just get her little tongue in there. And let's get her eyes. Yes. Okay, let's see. What do I got here?
Also, I think your drawing looks great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nana says, I really, really love this new method for filling in Gemelli's coat color. It's great. Gives so much texture. Nice work, babe. Well, that's good. I'm glad I'm learning. You know, every time I get out here and do stuff, I'm learning. It's good, you know. You guys here watching me, encouraging me, gets me to do more because I get encouraged by the encouragement that you give me, and then I get better because I'm practicing. So it's definitely a good situation for all. If you're not bored by my drawing, but I appreciate you guys because you guys, you help me with your kind words and just the company. Let's see. Okay, now we gotta make her. Give her this. I'll get to the shoes so you'll see what's going on once I do the shoes. You'll see why people were so attracted. We taught Anna a new word because of the last time I was mentioning Gemelli at EPCOT. I said she was not inconspicuous. So Anna looked that word up. Inconspicuous. There's your word for the day. Trying to find a darker color. No, usually when we take her out, and when we took her out this time, Gemelli had a mesh vest on, and I don't remember exactly how that looks, so I'm just going with the traditional style vest right now. I need to have it for reference, but I didn't grab it before I started because I typically don't use reference, which is when my stuff looks so cartoony. If I use reference, then it's going to be more realistic. Sometimes a job calls for that, be more realistic. But if I have my druthers, it'd just be doing this, just kind of freehand and using my memory, or at least a good part of my memory. Thank you, guys. All right. What else? Okay. Happy Friday to you too, Angela. Thanks, Janine. Thank you, Marcia. What else? Understand.
Every time you get it open,
It's like it's blurry or something.
everything. You take it, find you some little square little
Oh, that'd be
stickers
cool.
that are just exactly the size
Yeah, that'd be cool.
of the chips.
All right, let's see. I think this might be it. Let me just go around this outside.
Janelle wanted to say hi to you.
Hello. She's like, let me see that drawing. That doesn't look like me.
Can I eat that?
Why'd you draw me like that?
You look cute. You look exactly like a drawing, girl.
I'm more serious than that.
Gemelli, you want to see? You want to see what Daddy's doing? Come here. Come here. Come here. Pause up. Pause up. Look. What's he doing?
She licked me.
What
She's like, okay, it's okay.
She's
Doesn't look horrible.
doesn't look exactly like you because he's a cartoonist.
That looks great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not bump into me, Gemelli.
Come on. Girls. Out. Out. Go. Go.
Just like to go in with a thicker line on the outside. Especially when I'm using darker colors because it just kind of defines the silhouette better. So yeah, Sharon sent me some silicone. I'm excited about seeing if it will cure this chair of creakiness, or at least muffle it a bit. All right. Okay. Susan wants to know, what age were you when you got interested in drawing or sketching? I just sent my granddaughter in Australia recently some sketch pads and pencils. She was a great artist when she lived in America with me. She was so excited to get back into sketching. I have a few pieces of her work in my home and display. That's cool. So I've been interested in drawing from a very, very early age. My parents were graphic designers, and my mom is an illustrator as well. And so the stuff was always around. But when I was about 2, I think my dad started drawing things for me. He's telling me, this is a horse or this is a dog, and he would just draw stuff. And he said that I like instantly was like just fascinated with what he was doing. So he got me a pen and paper and just let me do stuff on my own. So I started, of course, like any kid, just scribbling. But by the time I was 2.5, I was actually drawing things that you could recognize. I mean, they were still rather crude, but and then I just never stopped drawing. I always would draw at least, religiously 2 to 3 hours a day, every day. And I just thought everybody did it. But when I got to preschool, I just remember like people just being like, "Oh wow, that really looks like a dinosaur. That's really good. How'd you do that?" And I just didn't understand. I thought like, "Oh, you just do this, right?" And then I just kept drawing, and I was, there's always that one or two kids in class that are like the drawers. That was me, all the way up through high school, just drawing. But I think looking back, it was like kind of a way for me to decompress and process things and calm my mind down. So that was what I was doing, like all through my childhood. Well, that's cool that your niece got back into it. So whereabouts in Oz is she? I've only been to Sydney myself, but it was very fun, and I'd love to go back to Australia because there's so much more to see. It's just the one thing in Australia is the plane ride. It's a tough one. It's very long. I took a direct flight. I didn't stop in Dubai or Hong Kong like a lot of people do. I went direct, and my butt told me that was a bad idea. It didn't let me forget that. I remember when I came back, my butt was sore for like 2 weeks afterwards. It was not happy with me for sitting for that long. All right. Well, I think this is it for today, because it was about Gemelli. It wasn't about really other stuff. But let me zoom out a little bit. Zoom out, not zoom in. There you go. Now let's date it. Today's April 28th, 2023. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you hanging out with me today. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye.